What if I told you there's a place in the Atlantic Ocean where ships vanish without a trace? No wreckage, no bodies, just silence and the faint echo of drums beneath the water. Some call it a myth, some call it a curse. But for the men who once sailed there, it was real, very real. This is not a story about pirates or treasure. This is about 40 Viking souls who dared to challenge the ocean and lost everything. A ship that vanished in a storm so violent, even nature seemed angry. But what if that storm wasn't nature at all? What if something else was waiting for them beneath the waves? Thunder rolls again, louder. Water surges. The heartbeat of drums begins softly beneath the sound. They called it the Sea Dragon, the ship that never came home. And tonight, we go where it sank. Music deepens. Transition, waves fade to eerie calm. They said the North Atlantic was a living thing, cold, merciless, watching for centuries. Sailors feared its silence more than its storms, because silence meant it was listening. In the winter of 985 AD, a Viking longship set out from Iceland. 40 men, warriors, traders, explorers, and believers. Their leader, Eric the Grey, was a man who'd spent his life chasing storms. To him, danger was not an enemy. It was a test. Their destination was Greenland, a journey they had made many times. But this time, something waited for them beyond the mist, something that would erase them from history. Low drumbeat begins, steady like a heartbeat. They called their ship the Sea Dragon. Long, narrow, built for war and speed, her carved dragon head slicing the waves as if daring the ocean to strike first. When they left the harbor, the villagers cheered. Shields gleamed in the winter light. Men sang Old Norse hymns to Odin, god of war and wisdom. But the ocean does not care for hymns. The first day was calm. The second was colder. On the third, the wind shifted. Navigator Bjorn noticed the change first. The smell of the air, sharp with salt and something metallic. He looked up. The clouds weren't moving like they should. They were circling, slowly, soft whistle of rising wind. That night, the sky came alive. Green lights rippled across the heavens, the northern lights. To us, their beauty. To them, they were warning signs. Still, the men rowed on. The Sea Dragon cut through the waves like a blade through silk. They laughed, they told stories, they sang. But beneath that laughter, there was a tremor, the sense that they were being watched. By the fourth day, the ocean turned against them. Waves grow louder, wind howling. The sun vanished behind a wall of black clouds. The air grew heavy, pressing down on their lungs. "We should turn back," one man said. Captain Eric shook his head. "The gods don't reward cowards." Thunder rolled across the sea, not once, but 3 times. And on the horizon, a white line began to rise. Waves, not small, not gradual, mountains of water, building fast, stacking over one another until they towered over the ship. The men scrambled to secure the sail. Bjorn shouted, "Starboard wind! Brace the line!" But the ropes slipped through wet hands. The mast bent, the ship groaned. The storm was upon them. Every second became chaos. Waves slammed the deck. Men fell to their knees. Water rushed over the bow. The Sea Dragon was fighting, every plank straining, every nail screaming. Lightning split the sky, and in that instant, Bjorn saw something beneath the waves. A shadow, immense, moving, twisting, like a serpent coiling through the deep. He blinked. It was gone. Another lightning strike, closer now. The mast shattered, splinters flying like arrows. A scream cut through the storm. One man was gone, then another. The sea was swallowing them whole. Eric roared, trying to steer. "Hold fast. "Hold, damn you!" But the rudder snapped. The ship spun sideways, caught between two rising waves. The sound was deafening. Water, wind, wood, and the roar of nature reclaiming what belonged to her. And then a wall of ocean hit. Deep bass thunder. Everything fades to white noise, silence. When morning came, there was no storm. Only calm gray water stretching to every horizon. No ship, no men, no sound. 3 days later, fishermen found fragments of wood washed up along Greenland's rocky coast. Carvings of dragons, blackened and cracked. A single shield burned, though no fire had touched it. No bodies, no explanations. Soft ambient ocean sound. Cold wind. Locals believed they had angered Ran, the Norse goddess of the sea, who drags the greedy and the proud to her underwater hall. They said the crew refused to make an offering before leaving port. No coin, no blood, no thanks. Ran doesn't forgive pride. For years, sailors whispered of ghostly longships gliding through the fog after. Storms, no oars, no crew, no sound but the creak of wood. They called it the Sea Dragon's Curse. Haunting female vocal echoes briefly, then fades. Centuries passed. Maps changed. Empires rose and fell. But the North Atlantic stayed the same, cold, deep, indifferent. Even modern sailors report strange readings in those waters. Compass needles spinning wildly. Radio interference. Lights moving beneath the surface. Some laugh it off. Others refuse to cross that stretch of sea at all. Scientists call it coincidence, pressure fronts, magnetic fields. But ask the old fishermen, and they'll tell you the truth. The ocean remembers. One diver claimed to have found something. Wooden beams deep beneath the trench, carved with symbols older than any recorded Viking mark. He surfaced pale, shaking, refusing to dive again. When they asked what he saw, he said, "They're still down there." Slow heartbeat sound rises, echoing underwater. Maybe he was right. Maybe the sea dragon didn't sink. Maybe it's still sailing, miles below, its crew forever rowing through darkness. Maybe every storm that hits the North Atlantic is not weather, but war. The wind howls differently in those waters. The waves crash with rhythm like drums, oars. If you listen close enough on a stormy night, between the thunder and the wind, you might hear them too. Voices, men shouting orders, shields clashing, the ghost of a crew that refused to die. Long pause, soft thunder roll. The sea doesn't forgive. The sea doesn't forget. And the sea always takes back what's hers. Thunder fades. Ocean quiets. The sound of dripping water. Soft cinematic music begins, distant, emotional. They say time buries everything. History, pride, and truth. But the ocean keeps what it loves. And somewhere in that cold black silence, a dragon still sleeps, waiting. Maybe one day, when the storm rises again, it will wake. And when it does, the world will remember why the Vikings feared the sea. Sea shadows, where the ocean keeps its darkest secrets.